Today is Saturday, October 22nd, 2016. Welcome to the Survivor Fans Podcast. I'm Joanne.
And I'm Stacy.
And this is the listener feedback show for Survivor Millennials vs. Gen X, Episode 5.
We have now entered a new phase of the game.
Okay.
You got pre-merge 1, and now they're pre-merge 2 with 3 tribes. A twist virtually, well, a lot of us didn't see coming.
A tribe of 4, a tribe of 5, and a tribe of 6.
That's right, 4, 5, 6.
That should be interesting.
Yeah, you're going to have, 2 people sitting out and 1 person sitting out in a challenge, and then have to flip it again
and those
for the
will
immunity.
Have to play it. Poor Chris.
Yeah, poor Chris. He's still stuck with David. They managed to get rid of Cece, but David's still there. Poor Chris.
Well, Chris has been, shouldering the challenges. I hope they're feeding him more. He deserves
Not likely.
Some extra carbs.
Yeah. Well, they don't have Ken anymore, so even though Paul said they were all fishing, I doubt it's the same with the amount that Ken was bringing in.
Well, probably Chris would have to do that too.
That beach where they're at, from what some of the extra clips said, it wasn't that great of a beach, so David said it was pretty miserable there with the wind.
Yeah.
But not as bad as the Ikabula tribe. But enough about our thoughts. We can inject some of those along the way. We're here to do listener feedback show. We did a recap for episode 5. We got an interview in with CC on Thursday. But now it's time to check in with the other super fans, the other friends and family in this Survivor world that we have here, and see what their thoughts were on episode 5 and what we can expect next now that we got a little better idea. There's a lot of guesswork involved in the first one. But let's see what Pete thought about 5 and what he thinks coming next.
Hey, Joanne and Stacy. This is Pete from Boston calling, and I gotta say, it's tribe swap time, and it's a woo baby. Love it. Loving this season, and I love the tribe swap. Did not expect with these numbers to go from 2 to 3 tribes. Amazing, and I love it. Let me get into it. So first, my hat's off to that green team. I honestly thought they kind of like the Angkor tribe of Second Chance. They didn't have a chance, but I give a lot of credit where it's due to Beast Mode Michaela. Oh, she took it into second gear there, or third gear, starting the fire when everyone was giving up, including Big Mouth Jay, and that boosted the whole tribe. And then she was a beast in that immunity challenge, almost single-handedly winning it, looking like Lisa Leslie in that challenge. I'm really starting to love Michaela. Okay, on to the other tribe that won. Oh, the odd couple of Figgy and Surfer Dude. Figgy, you want to hang out with me? Taylor. Oh, but I gotta say, to Figgy's credit, she was trying to keep away from Taylor, and Taylor is just having none of it. Well, that kid has no clue what is going on. I think he's definitely a recruit, but maybe who knows what's going to happen with that couple. And I hope Adam comes to his senses if that team loses and blindsides one of them, because that would be just so epic. Because Sunday and Ken, that would be awesome. I love that those guys won immunity, especially Ken. Ken's one of my favorites for the Gen X. And then on to the losers of the I'm just going to say the third tribe because I don't remember what the name was. So, wow, the weak link finally went home, but it was a blind side. Delicious. Cece. And this time, David backstabbed her in the back as he didn't do what he did for Jessica, and he kept the idol to himself. So it looks like him and Chris could be a JT Steven alliance, but who knows? I'm digging the Zeke and Chris alliance, though. That has a chance to be big. And I'm starting to like Michelle again, too. She's back into it again. Haven't seen much of her since the Maury blind side. I don't know what's going to happen. And Joanne and Stacey, let me ask you this. Do you think that was, again, too easy for David under that log there? Because, I don't know, I think they, again, Probst blew it out of proportion about how they were hiding idols. I'm curious to see what you guys think. But I'm digging this season, and I'm hoping Figgy, or actually I'm hoping Taylor goes home next. Take care.
Well, I'm with you, Pete. I definitely hope Taylor goes next out of the Taylor-Figgy group. Not because I'm cheering for Figgy to win necessarily, but there's an extra clip with Taylor, and he's talking about he's not really there to win. And so I got no use for Taylor in the game.
And being with her is worth more than $1 million.
Yeah.
He could be with her for a lifetime. So she might have found her Prince Charming. She
Maybe.
Looking for a husband, and he sounded like he might want a wife.
You just made me disappointed in her again. I don't know why you come on the show looking for a husband. But,
well, yeah.
But of the two, but that would make it harder, right? We were talking about that. If the people that I had chosen Figgy before the season started and you chose Hannah, and if they're both still there at the merge, it gets harder to actually hold on to them.
Go ahead and
because both of them would disappear. They wouldn't be threats necessarily unless she's still associated with Taylor.
Yeah.
But they're probably more likely to get rid of Figgy because I think Adam feels more burnt over her than he does over Taylor.
And Taylor's got the strength. He's pretty good in the challenges.
Great in the challenges. And another extra clip, Ken said that Taylor is the young Ken, so Ken liked him.
That's right.
That's goofy, isn't it? Oh, all right. Thanks, Pete. Next up, we got an email from Nicola in Lexington, Kentucky. Hello, everyone. Well, another great episode, and this lady finally got a vote-off point.
Woo.
Congratulations. Through nothing more than sheer luck, I just went with Cece as I thought she was the weakest player out there, and if she was on the losing tribe, would be the most logical vote. Anyway, at this stage, I'll take any point I can get. I can't believe David found the idol again. Maybe this time he'll hold on to it for himself. At the end, before Tribal, when he was talking about maybe playing it for Cece, I was yelling at the TV, no, not again. I was totally surprised by the 3-tribe split, but I'm sure it won't last too long. But it's an interesting twist and forces the much touted theme of Gen X versus Millennials to work together. It will be interesting to see who forms bonds that will go deep into the game. Looks like Chris and Zeke already have. Again, the location of the community challenge was spectacular, as was David's descent into bumbling ineptitude. It was literally painful to watch. I have no clue who will be voted out next week, but I am looking forward to see if Will is actually still there. And Joanne, I agree with you. I'm not sure what it is about Michelle. I just can't seem to jive with her. It seems like every time the camera's on her, she has the most vacant expression on her face, and it's so annoying. But she has to be paying attention, right?
Yeah,
because she's played well up to this point.
Yeah.
Hope everyone has a great weekend. Thanks for all you do, Joanne and Stacy, and thank you, Nicola.
Yep, that's the puzzling part of that. It's like I can't quite put my finger on it, but
yeah, Nicola,
I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Nicola referenced the hidden immunity idol and David finding it again, and Pete had mentioned that too. And I guess in the recap, I convinced myself why that was possible, that at least knowing what to look for was a huge advantage.
Yeah.
And it works for the drama for David, I guess, in that regard, because what else has he got going for him if he doesn't have that right now? So I guess I can enjoy that, but I'm also just, I don't want to commit to David at all because it just feels like he'll screw it up again. He'll use it and waste it just like I'd initially thought he would waste the first one. So at least he didn't do it this time, but what he did do was make sure that Cece was still there, and that has just put them in an even deeper hole. He thought she was a shield for him, but she's basically what put them back in this situation, or together.
Well, I'm just going to enjoy the ride.
There you go. Okay, next up, let's check in with Parker.
Hey, it's Parker from Indiana, and I am really enjoying the season. I thought that I wouldn't, but I gotta say, it's been pretty good so far. And I have favorite in the contestants, and I've really liked the season so far. In this episode, another great addition to the season. Let's start off with Jessica telling Ken about the legacy advantage. I think that was a bold move by her, and I have to give her credit. Hopefully it works out for her, and hopefully Ken will trust her more from now on. And David with another idol. So great. I am not regretting the fact that I picked David as my winner more and more. And to the tribe swap, we have 3. And it looks like the same thing from Cambodia with Angkor all over it. But looks like that tribe is mostly composed of people I don't like. So hopefully it'll be over for that tribe soon. I still can't stand Jay, Figgy, Taylor, and Michelle. Also, before Tribal, Michelle was scheming for no reason. She got offered a deal to blindside Cece, and she decided to try to blindside David. There's no point to that. I just don't like Michelle. But for my favorites in Ken, David, Adam, Zeke, Chris, and Brett, things are mostly looking up. I mean, Brett is on the outs of his tribe, but I think Sunday will go before he does. And another great tribal with Cece gone. I don't despise Cece, but I never really liked her. So I'm not crying about the fact that she's gone. Next week look interesting. I don't think that the medical will evacuate anyone, but still looks like a fun challenge, and I'm excited for it.
Thanks, Parker. Yeah, I got a suspicion that because they've got to sit 2 people out in a challenge, I won't be surprised if Anna's actually sitting out of that challenge where medical gets called.
Well, I was saying I hope she didn't get bit by something like snake or
a spider,
tarantula or something,
so that it'll just be more humorous, that it's an overreaction, that it's
then
psychosomatic.
It's actually something serious.
Yeah.
I don't want to see her go out that way.
Certainly not. Absolutely not. Okay, thanks again, Parker. Next up, we got an email from Caroylyn in St. Louis.
Hi, Joanne and Stacy. I rarely write in, but this week I can't resist gloating. Wahoo! I'm on top of the leaderboard. Gotta enjoy this while I can. Too bad my USB 24 was Maury. This season's theme is pretty lame, but my daughter and I are having fun with it. You see, I'm 2 years older than the oldest Gen X, Paul, and my daughter is 2 years younger than the youngest millennial, Will. We roll our eyes every time Jeff trots out one of his generational stereotypes. At this point, my favorite millennials are Michaela, Zeke, Jay, and Adam. My favorite Gen Xers are Ken and, well, just Ken. David is great television, but I can't decide whether he's a crazy mess or a crazy genius. Only time will tell. Thanks for everything you do, Joanne and Stacy. I look forward to your podcasts each week. All my best. All right. Thanks, Carolyyn, and congratulations.
Yeah, congrats. Great to hear from you.
Enjoy it.
Yeah, what a great way a great catalyst for getting some listener feedback in. And I'm going to go with crazy mess. Definitely not crazy genius. There's no way David's a crazy genius.
Well, I said I think David's smart, and I like that he runs through all the scenarios and that type of thing, but he just seems to be physically inept at most things.
Yeah, we were having this discussion around the house earlier in the week. I'm not even sure he's that smart. So I'm just not always sure that he knows how to act in his own best interest, whether it's walking across a room or planning a strategy in Survivor.
Well, I at least like that he's thinking.
He's trying, and I can respect that. I'll give him a participation award.
Participation.
Oh, next
you snorted.
Yeah, I snorted. Next up, it's an audio from Joe.
Hello, Joanne and Stacy and all Survivor fans. Joe from Huntersville, North Carolina. This is going to be a short one this week. In Tribal, David makes the idol move to save Jess. Back at camp, Ken gets all the credit. What's up with that? David can't win. Oh, and my JSFL picks last week were terrible. Get this, I picked safe were Cece, David, Michelle, and Z. My vote off was Chris. I could not have had worse picks. If it were the Powerball, they would be asking me for more money after the picks. Well, next week is the dreaded blindfold challenge. Looks like Sweet Hana is going to get hurt. I think Figgy is going to go home. I think Adam will team up with Ken and Jess to put an end to the super couple. Well, till next week. Talk to you later.
Wow, Joe, you couldn't have, you just really jackpotted that one. How you chose that blind, that's hilarious. Yeah, Joe's not the only one who thinks Figgy's going. I think we hear that from someone else, too. So I could totally see that. I have to mull that over. Thanks again, Joe.
I'm not sure how you could do that under those circumstances, so that's quite amazing, Joe.
It's random.
It is random, but that's amazing that it worked out that way.
He maximized his loss for the week. Excellent. Next up, we got an email from Jack in California. Hi, Survivor fans. What another great episode. We all knew that a tribe swap was coming, but I know for me at least I didn't expect to see 3 tribes. I thought they would only go with 2. Since the tribe swap happened, I thought I would do some research on the tribe names because I was wondering what they translate to, and so here are the translations. Takali is open sea in Fijian. Vanua stands for home or land, and the newest one, Ikabula, stands for turtle. Out of those three, I would like to have been on the turtle tribe myself if I was out there. Jessica sharing the legacy advantage with Ken could be a smart move. I'm just not sure how it's going to play out, though. Michaela's turning out to be a challenge beast, and David is just David. I'm glad he found the idol again, but what was that performance on the challenge? Jeez. Figgy has made a mistake about sharing the showmance, and I think that would cause both her and Taylor some trouble in the future. If they go to tribal, I think one of them would go. Take care until next time. Thanks, Jack. Yep, see, there's a theme. Takali. People are thinking Takali's going to lose somehow. All right, let's check in with Drew and Charlie.
Okay, are you ready to record?
Yeah.
Say hi, everybody.
Stacey and me. Okay.
Hi, Joanna and Stacey. Hey, everyone. Say hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Drew and Charlie here on a Saturday morning, just sending in some feedback about the last episode of Survivor. Well, goodbye, extremely long shot USB. Truthfully, I've been expecting it for some time now, and I'm surprised she lasted as long as she did. Interview was interesting, but I feel like Ken would be a bit chagrined at her casual adaptation of the English language at times. Ha ha ha. Let's see. Shuffle, fine. Challenge, fine. At the last minute, the wife and I took guesses as to the fate of the dumb ship Failure, and I guessed right, though I wish it hadn't worked out that way. I just thought it would be much better to just split them up for the sake of the world. Jeez, that guy is such a waste, though I guess he does add a certain dynamic to that tribe situation. And of course, she's not much better anyway, so. Okay, I wasn't going to say anything, but since you brought it up, here's your refresher course on the pronunciation of the word belled, B-U-O-Y, okay? How do you describe something that floats? Buoyant. What is the property of being buoyant? Buoyancy. What do you call a small thingy thing that floats? A buoy. There you go. Boy, it's interesting because I actually remember learning that exact word as a kid. And I thought it was kind of a funny word because it sounds just like boy. Though, of course, if you think about it, there are subtle differences. Boy, it's just so easy. I've been training my own child up in the way of saying it properly, even though Jeff will repeat it 1,000. I don't think he says any word more than that. Although he might just seem to say more because it sticks in my ears so much. Anyway, Charlie has his own way of pronouncing it. Isn't that right, buddy?
Yeah.
Okay, let me show you a picture. And you tell me what this is, okay?
Okay. A boy.
Good job, buddy. But what do you call that? What is that? A guy. Why do you call it that?
A boy.
Yeah, that's what it's called. But you sometimes call in your book, you have those in your book, and you call it a guy. Do you just call it that for fun?
Look, that seagull is on a boy.
Yeah, that seagull is on a buoy. That's because it's in the ocean.
What is that?
That's a different kind of buoy. Sometimes they're round. They're things that float on the water. Just like the ones they had on Survivor this week. Anyway, maybe just because I kept asking him how to pronounce it, he started saying it in funny ways. But it's always a gah. Huh. Get a gah.
No.
No. What?
It's a boy.
Good job. That's my son. Okay. Anyway, we don't have much else to say. Do you have anything else to say, Charlie?
Yeah.
What?
What's that, Daddy?
Oh, that's a life preserver. That's a round. Oh, it says it's a boy also. It looks like a life preserver. Anyway, okay, that's it.
Yeah.
Does Kitty want to say anything?
Yeah.
What does Kitty want to say?
Boy.
Kitty wants to say boy too. Okay, say bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
All right, talk to y'all later, and hope we have more boys in the future so that Charlie and I can practice some more, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, and before we go, winner of the week, I think Michaela. I think her story's getting stronger, but I'm not about to pick her as my new USB. I'm just not sure yet. And loser of the week, Figtails, or whatever inane word you want to use to describe those two. Bleh. Bye. Say bye.
All right.
I like Figtails.
Yeah, Figtails, Failer, all those are good. Thanks, Drew and Charlie. Next up, we got an email from WT in DC.
Well,
do we know where WT's from? Or did you guess?
No, he said it in.
Oh, okay.
But I did want to say,
Or she.
I'll
It can be a
probably
she.
continue to say boy.
All right, let's go
Drew,
to WT.
So, just so you know. Okay, hello, Joanne and Stacy. What a fun episode. I think just about everybody was playing their best game. Props to Zeke for making the Sooner connection. Props to Chris for making the Sooner connection, swimming twice at the challenge, and pulling in Dave. Props to David for finding his second idol and toning it down enough not to play it. Props to Michelle for not taking the plan at face value, and more props for massaging the deception at a tribal. Props to Michaela for both conquering the challenge and making fire. What a champion. Props to Jay for being excellent at everything. Props to Brett for not disputing Jay's excellence. Props to Jessica for mending fences with Ken, and props to Ken for building relationships with Jessica and Adam. Props to Failer for entertaining us also very thoroughly. Props to Adam for working with Ken. I believe in my heart that you're going to make the right decision. Vote out the power couple. My only concern is that the Red Tribe seems to be the least capable at challenges.
Yep.
And with David having an idol, I am very nervous that we might lose the quiet and powerful mind that is Michelle. I can see her orchestrating extraordinarily clever gameplay after the merge, and I would hate to see her go. At any rate, thank you for making this podcast and reading my comments.
Yeah, props to you, WT.
All right, thanks for that. Up next, we have an audio clip from JayWaffles.
Hello, Joanna and Stacy and all the Survivor fans at home. This is JayWaffles from Canada with feedback for Episode 5, Gen X versus Millennials. Okay, you guys, I just need to take a second to audibly exhale a sigh of relief. Could things get any crazier from my boy Zeke? I mean, first, his buddy Adam finds an idol. Yay! Then the tribe swap to a Gen X tribe with Michelle, no less. Oh no. Then finds a friend in Big Chris. Oh yay! Then it's a water challenge. Oh no. Then it's slow and steady Cece. Oh no. Then it's Dave in the water. Oh no. Then it's Dave on the dock. Oh yay. And then it's Dave back in the water? Oh no. I could go on, but you get the picture. Granted, I'm merely an observer, and while he had to live it, I just got to watch it. And while we're talking about the challenge, was Chris the only one accepting responsibility for his performance at the challenge? Really? Really? Okay, a few other things to talk about. I'm honestly glad that David found another idol. While he is extremely difficult to watch at times, I do have to give him credit for his game. Not many people can say they found one idol, practically throw it away, and then find another one the next day. Perhaps his big move will really pay off in the long run. I also have to wonder if CBS is giving him a huge underdog story arc edit. And honestly, I do really hope that Jess thanked him for saving her butt. Now, I did some research on the new tribe name, Ikabula, that was chosen for the third tribe, hoping that it would mean something clever like tough luck or so long, suckers. But the literal translation to the native Fijian, according to my good buddy Google, is Ika, fish, Bula, hello. Fish, hello. You can't tell me that being out there for so long they couldn't find something else more fitting. Incidentally, I also pieced together a saying that Taylor could have used while covertly flirting with Figgy. Vea kata kata. This roughly translates from Fijian to you are hot, or you hot. I'm still looking for the appropriate words for you are pathetic, or you pathetic. Well, predictions for next week? Who knows? But it's sure to be fun. Ni sa motha, or see you again. Bye.
Thanks, JayWaffles. Good job on the on the research there. Next up, we got a clip from Jeremiah, who is now relocated.
Hello, Joanne and Stacy. Hello, Survivor fans. This is Jeremiah Panhorst, now coming to you from Southern California. Well, I thought it was another great episode this week. The only thing I was extremely disappointed was to find out that David had really no other good reason to use the idol on Jessica. Real head scratcher there. His edit has been very interesting. He's getting this kind of dodo-ish type edit, but yet you still wonder if he is being portrayed as a potential winner. I really don't know what to say about this guy. He's all over the place. Kind of reminds me of when we were trying to debate about Tony Valacho's game, how crazy his game was. Now, as far as them splitting up into 3 tribes at this point, I know this was kind of a rumor going around for a long time that they were going to do that. But for them to happen in this episode, I was kind of surprised that it wound up being 3. I thought it was just going to be a standard mix-up. So that was definitely a big shocker to me for the Survivor editors, again, getting us this time around. But I think this will definitely drive some interesting scenarios when it comes to what's going to happen with these players. Definitely, it looks like Adam is in a much better position with the tribe mix-up. I was definitely worried about my USB Zeke, but then now that he's made friends with Chris, I think he's going to be in a good spot. This whole love triangle between Taylor and Figs is just ridiculous. These 2 players, of course, as we've mentioned many times already on this podcast, really don't know what they're doing. But at this moment right now, I think this is going to completely backfire on them. I smell Adam going against them when they have to go to tribal council. And I am actually picking Figgy to go home next week. That's the person I have at the moment. Of course, I've picked her a few times now, and she still hasn't gone home. So I guess I'll keep picking your USB, Stacy, until she does go home. But I'm sure you're hoping she makes it to the merge. Lots of talk this season about Michaela, and I will admit, I really like what we're seeing from her. She is so tough and so rootable. You know what I mean? Like, you want to root for this girl. I mean, I think it's because she's been through so much in her life and you want to see her succeed. When you look at her edit, and you know I love to look at edits, I think we might be trying to be told slowly and steadily, like we did last year with Michelle, that Michaela, I think, is my top choice as potential winner at this point. I don't know who you guys have in your top spot right now for winner, but that's who I have. Well, anyway, I can't wait to hear what everybody else has to say. I wish I had more to say, but I didn't take any great notes this week, but I'll try to do better as I'm moving into my new place next month. So I'm really excited about that. Hope you guys are doing great. Hope all the listeners are doing great. And of course, I'm still on Facebook, guys, so you can hit me up anytime. We could talk more Survivor. You guys take care, and until next time, this is Jeremiah coming from SoCal.
All right. Thanks, Jeremiah. So who do you think the front runners are?
4.
Just the potential winners at this point, like Jeremiah was talking about. Michaela.
I think Jay's got a good chance.
He seems to be fading out.
Yeah.
They're not emphasizing him at all anymore.
But just going on that a lot of people like him.
Yeah. Adam's certainly a sentimental favorite, and
Definitely.
he's got an idol.
I like Chris and how he's played the game, but I can't see them letting him get that far. And Brett, too. You know, Brett was my original person that I wanted to have for
Your actual first choice, yeah.
Yeah. And
Before you settled on Hannah.
Yeah. Hannah can come or go, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not against Hannah winning.
I won't be surprised if Figgy goes like Jeremiah said either.
No,
and a couple
I
other
was
folks.
thinking that I might vote for her too again.
Again, because you did
I
last
had her
week.
last week.
Yeah.
Because if they do lose, I do think that's who they'll go with.
So you said Michaela, Jay, Chris, and Brett. What about Adam?
Yeah, of course, if he's still there, absolutely. I like Adam a lot.
I think the way things are going and whose story's evolving and who's really
Ken.
positive. Ken's in there, Michaela's there, Zeke's still a long shot, but I think he's got a run at it. And since there are lots of unconventional things happening this season, I wouldn't be surprised to see Chris go deeper. There's actually quite a few really physical threats post-merge that could go before him.
So you think final 3, Chris, David, and Zeke?
Oh, what would be the worst final 3? David.
For me,
David.
Figgy, Taylor, and anybody else.
Yeah, well, I get that. You got people who just don't seem to be playing.
I think Will's playing.
David,
we just
Hannah.
haven't seen anything yet.
David, Hannah, and Jessica? That wouldn't be a really good one. Oh, you know what? Another thing I was thinking about when Jeremiah was talking, I'm not sure why, but I was thinking that if Sunday and Adam end up, like if they make the merge, that's really going to be hard for Adam if he makes a connection or gets to talk to Sunday, because she's been through some of what his mom's going through, and she's going to be there, and that might be really hard for him to be around her. Yeah.
Or might be hard to vote her off.
Yeah, that's true too. I guess it could bolster him, but that'll be interesting to see what that impact is.
She's the age to be his mother figure.
Yep, sure.
So,
yeah, all right. Thanks again, Jeremiah. Got us thinking. Next up, we got an email from Josh the Plush Moose from Massachusetts. Dear Joanne and Stacy, this week's episode was really good. An idol hunt, a tribe swap, a good challenge, and a blindside. Here's hoping that the upward trend continues. This week's observations. I love the frame color scheme on Paul's visual roster. Going forward, it'll be an easy way to remember which tribes and beaches people have been on before the latest swap. Have to agree there. It's just a fantastic job, Paul. Way to go. We were talking about it just before we started recording. Jessica is an ADA, an assistant district attorney, who belongs on Matlock. First, she couldn't tell if David was lying. Now she credits Ken with saving her when he tried to vote her off. Or did she? Did anyone else notice she said she would have given him the legacy advantage? David is an idol magnet. Definitely an example of it's easy when you know how. Everybody drop your buff. Life's a beach. Millennial, Gen X, purgatory. Michaela's a true millennial. She wanted to flip off Jeff when she picked the wrong buff. That's good. There's probably an idol on Purgatory Beach, but nobody there knows the trick for finding one. I guess that's true, huh? No one in Ikabula has seen the clue or talked to someone who has one. So, yeah, that's tough. You're probably right. There is one there, huh? Even though it's supposedly a small, cramped beach. Maybe that'll increase the chances that someone finds it.
Well, Brett and Sunday thought David had one, so why wouldn't they think there was an idol there?
Yeah, I think what Josh is saying is they don't know, the trick for looking.
Right.
The symbol that's on their flag or whatever. Ken, Adam, and Jessica could go far together if Adam doesn't overplay. From the additional clip, Sunday might be a millennial whisperer, which could help. I like that. That's true. Yeah, she did come across that way. That's a good way to frame it and describe it. Yeah, Chris must have really bad karma to still be stuck with Cece and David post-swap. Yeah, he must have done something bad. The Green Tribe joined the cast of Angkor Beach, the sequel. No shelter, rocky beach, little food. Poor Figgy, even Cesar Milan would have a hard time training Horn Dog Taylor. I propose that we christen Zeke and Chris the Okie Dokie Alliance. That's good. Oh,
I like that.
Totally.
Okey-dokey.
I think you nailed it. For a relentless millennial, Jay sure gave up quickly when trying to start a fire. I expected to hear Benny Hill's yakety sax music when David battled the boy. Michaela is an ace at shooting boy basket. It's just buoy sounds better to my ear.
Yeah, that's why I can't do it.
She should try out for the WNBA. I think you and Pete both spotted that. Was Cece on the wrong show? From her lack of situational awareness and social game, maybe she thought she was on the hit CBS show Goat Carry. David's quip about all girls finding him weak and clumsy shows why he could go deep in the game if he can ride herd on his inner tie. The editors got me. After David's confessional about playing chess and using an idol for Cece, I was yelling, "Sit, Ubu, sit!" again when it came time to play an idol. Next time, a dizzy blindfold challenge, feigning goat Hannah doesn't want to die, and Failure comes out to their new tribe. Will we see the hashtag epic failure? Oh, that's perfect. I hope they use that. Anyway, that's all I have for now. Thanks, Joanne and Stacy, for all you do. I can't wait to hear what the other fans have to say. Thank you, Josh, for bringing all that humor every week. Next up, we got a call from Jen.
Hi, everyone. This is Jen in California. Well, this week we saw the tribe swap not into 2 tribes, but to 3 new tribes. And I found how each survivor mixed and matched with others was pretty interesting. The Ikabula tribe is really top-heavy with millennials, but I think that Sunday and Brett may fare fairly well because as a tribe, they have been pitted against some pretty big odds having to recreate their society again. So that, I think, is going to be a uniting factor for them. And unite them. So Brett and Sunday, I see them as being in an okay spot. as long as they keep winning. Now with Takali, I really wanted to see Figgy and Taylor split up. I really didn't want to see any more of the showman. So plus I thought it would be a little bit more dramatic if they were on different tribes. But that's neither here nor there. The luck of the draw. They ended up together. But I don't see them as being very safe. Adam is very, I don't know what the word for it is, but he's looking at his options and being not in Figgy and Taylor's alliance initially and coming from a position of being on the bottom. He's already coming to this new tribe looking to better his position. And for that reason, I really think that Figgy could be in danger if Takali loses at all. Jessica and Ken just renewed their bond over the idol being played for her and revealing that he was telling the truth to her all along. So they're united, and Ken has begun reeling Adam in. So I would say at this point, Taylor and Figgy are the ones on the bottom of that tribe, and with Figgy being the most vulnerable one right now. And finally, Vanua. I really think that Chris was just dealt a bad hand with the Gen Xers that he was placed on this tribe with. Typically, when tribe swaps happen, survivors tend to cling to their former tribe members and build loyalty from there. But he was stranded with David and Cece. Now, even if he were tight with them, which he's not, they are so abysmally bad in challenges, and specifically abysmally bad in that immunity challenge. It's really hard to make an argument for keeping them moving forward when you only have 5 people to choose from, and the other 2 tribes are just so much more dominant. One could have made the argument that they had the numbers, and they could have lost twice before Chris was quote-unquote vulnerable, but David and Cece have never been loyal to him, or even, they were just never in his alliance. So he's pretty much in a no-win situation. Keeping them around for numbers doesn't guarantee him any safety going forward. They're not loyal. But trusting the Millennials is risky as well, so he just has to choose, I guess, the lesser of 2 evils. And he made a bond with Zeke, who fortunately is looking to branch out and make new bonds and alliances himself. So I think Chris's gamble is going to pay off here. We'll just have to wait and see if that's true or not. Anyway, that's it from me. Till next week. Bye.
Excellent. Thanks, Jen.
Don't you think if Vanua tribe loses next week, it'll be Michelle going home?
Don't I think it's Michelle?
That would be my pick.
Given that Zeke didn't have a good experience with her?
Oh, yeah. It would certainly be to his advantage
revenge
to
for Zeke.
get rid of her before the merge.
Yeah.
Absolutely. For him. She's targeting him.
Wouldn't
And
be a bad
David's
play.
got an idol. Even if Chris wanted to go after him, he might go with Zeke since they're connected and take her out first. Truthfully, all he says, she could hurt us after the merge.
Yeah. It'll probably pivot on how Zeke manages it since he and Chris have an alliance now.
And David showed his loyalty, so Chris might feel some loyalty back to him since he voted the way
Feel
he
that
said
he
he
can
would.
trust him a little bit.
And besides, he has an idol, so.
Yeah.
I mean,
you could
David
still
could
get him.
choose to.
You could still get David, I think, if you wanted to.
If you convinced him he was safe.
Well, even if not, you could throw 2 his way, and then you got to have someone willing to take one, right? So you throw, 2 towards David, and then have the third person vote for whoever, Chris, Michelle, and Zeke. So
that makes it a tie if he.
Makes it a tie, exactly. And then with the tie.
Yeah, the 2 would decide.
Yeah, and then they could take David out and get rid of the idol if they knew he had an idol. That could be a way to actually get rid of his idol and get rid of him all in one swoop.
Yeah, I think.
Maybe.
I don't think they'll risk it, but
Yeah,
they could.
it's
Or David
risky.
could decide
But
to
like you said, they could just
target,
take Michelle out.
He could target Chris if he thought Chris was after him.
Yeah, in any case there, though, you end up with a tie and you still get to take David out. If they really want to take David out because he had the idol. Thanks again, Jen. All right, let's check in with Paul and get his thoughts on episode 5.
Hey, Paul in Louisiana here, and I guess that David's, irresponsible use of the idol last week all balances out in the end. Finding that replacement idol almost effortlessly just puts things back in balance, or at least back to the way that things were. For the briefest moment, I thought that Sunday was going to find it, and I immediately thought that if I were David, I would have quickly started looking for the idol in the same area as Sunday and then thrown something on top to help hide it. But the fact remains that there's a lot of things that I'd do differently if I were David. If you ask me, he took quite a chance there, letting the cards fall where they may, but in the end, luck was with him yet again. I can't help but wonder how poor Sunday feels after seeing how close she was to finding it. And speaking of Sunday, we've practically got a whole new cast now that Paul is gone. The focus has certainly moved away from all those power Gen Xers, save for Chris, who is still doing well by holding his own and bringing in a new ally in Zeke. And then there's Michaela, who had my favorite line of the episode. I was ready to flip him off, but I didn't. How could you not laugh at that? And then she made fire, so yes, I'm ready to join Team Michaela. In fact, I'm already there. I think that this young woman is pretty incredible, and her tears just made me like her even more. She's strong, she's confident, and she's aware of her emotions enough to know that she shouldn't keep it all bottled up inside of her. So now that Michelle called out David at Tribal, he's going to be a hot mess headed into it again next week, which I'm certain is going to happen. I think he's going to be the popular pick, but then his idol is going to shock people twofold and end up sending Michelle packing. The way I see it, David is going to continue lucking out and make it to the merge, where he'll then go pretty deep because he'll become an asset rather than a liability once the teams disappear and solo gameplay becomes the driving force in the game. There's just no chance that anyone would vote him as the winner in this season. As for Cece, well, I liked her in my Jabbic, but she's just a blasé player. She always succeeded in the challenges, but screwed things up even worse by succeeding. She and David are completely interchangeable, and it would have been interesting to see what would have happened if she had found the idol. Would she have gotten any more leeway from us as David does for doing just one little thing well? I don't think she would. And I tend to dislike a lot about Figgy. Her first impression was bad, and seeing her actions just gives me little to build up from. I'm actually glad that she and Taylor are still together so I can watch them get ripped apart. There may even be tears. Well, certainly of laughter from me. So, next to go, like I said, David will win the votes, but the idol will sink Michelle. At least that's how I see it. And I'm feeling confident about it, so that's a bad sign in itself. Trust me when I say that you shouldn't pay any attention to my vote-off choices. And I guess that's it from down here in Louisiana. Bye now.
Paul wants to make them cry. Make the kids cry. Thanks, Paul. Yeah, so let's see, who were the top picks? So Paul says it's possible for Michelle, like you were saying. I think that's definitely there, given how
Figgy,
she went after.
If it's Takali.
Yeah.
And, Ikabula, who would go?
Well, Sunday said she thought it would be her, even though she thought she was able to make a good connection. You know what was interesting about that, too? It was Jen or Paul that was talking about it. With Michaela, in one of her extra clips, she was talking about how much she liked Brett and Sunday. She liked them because they smiled and they weren't all about the scheming. Mm-hmm. So if Michaela wanted to, she could probably take control of the Ikabula tribe and build an alliance.
Jay? He's so good in the challenges, but get him out before there's like, hey, let's get this powerhouse guy out before the merge.
Whatever, it would come down to whatever Michaela wanted.
Yeah. Who does she not like?
Figgy.
Well,
Taylor.
She doesn't have the choice.
The ones that were scheming. So I don't know if that includes Hannah and Will, but it does. You would think it would include Jay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though Jay's got nothing but good things to say about her.
Yeah. Well, she could go after Jay, Hannah, or Will if she wanted to keep.
Yeah, I don't think Hannah's a threat, and
I don't know if she would, that it might hurt her in the long run after the merge, maybe.
To take out Jay?
Yeah.
No, I don't think it would hurt her at all.
Michelle and I don't think she could be hurt that much by Michelle, but with Figgy, Taylor, and Michelle, and so I don't know how she feels about that, but that's certainly a possibility.
Yeah, that would be interesting to see Michaela sort of take control of Ikabula and make that happen. So, okay, so there you go. Jay, Michelle, Figgy, and or Taylor.
She's like, I can handle the challenges. We don't need him.
Yeah. Whichever would make one of them cry. That's Paul's preference. Good deal. Yeah.
I have to think, though, they would stick with Sunday, even though she likes her because she's not very good in the challenges. Her or Hannah.
Yeah, Michaela may. It's okay at this stage in the game to be looking at the merge.
I agree.
So it's okay to try to look a step or two ahead, just as long as you're not looking at the end game right now.
Why wouldn't you look ahead as well in my book? But I'm
saying you don't have to look at Final Tribal right now. Some people trip themselves up doing that way too early.
They could merge after two more tribals.
Exactly. Yeah.
because they merged at
Yep.
13 before.
Yeah.
Now they could go down to 11, but they could do it at 13. So they need to start at least toying with that idea. Who do they not want to go into the merge with?
Sure.
Okay. Anything else? Who did you think might go home?
I'm leaning towards the whole Figgy Taylor thing, although
Me too.
because that would make things easier for me. But I'm like I said, I'm torn because Taylor's not there to win. I'm not really interested in having Taylor in the game, even though I'm sure he would bring something to the individual challenges.
But he and Ken are bros.
There's that, yeah. I don't know if that would be enough.
Well, you and I talked about if they voted Figgy out, would Taylor quit?
That could actually
so that
happen.
he could actually go travel
Party.
with her
Yeah.
and party with her for the rest of the 39 days.
See, now I like him even less because he's going to quit. And he's never said that.
He's never said that.
But it seems completely plausible.
Like he could go,
given what he
no.
shared about himself.
No, it's much more rewarding
done,
to me
Probst.
to
Yeah.
be with her.
Right.
I'm out of here.
You guys vote
See
me
ya.
out next, or I just quit.
I just want to be with Figgy.
Yeah, that part wouldn't surprise
She's
me
worth
after
$1
watching that
million,
extra video.
And she's for a lifetime. She's,
Blah, blah. Yeah.
And so I thought, I could see him do that. I would hope he wouldn't, and that he could get over it and Ken could hold him together. But that would really upset me if he did something like that. Hopefully then, if they knew he was going to do that, or if he told them he would do that, if they voted her off, then they should just vote him off and keep Figgy.
Yeah,
anyway.
you could send Figgy, Taylor, Michelle, and Jay, and they could all go party.
That was just one of the many conversations we have.
Yes, it was. Good deal. Well, we enjoyed that, and we enjoyed this week's feedback and thinking about what we can look forward to in episode 6 in a season that we're enjoying a lot. I mean, it's the theme gets tired, but now I just let it roll off of me when they're pounding the theme in and the producers are asking them questions in their confessionals about the theme so that it forces them to talk about it. That's not what I'm most interested in right now. I was trying to think. I really wanted to say I wanted David to go because he's playing so horribly and it just makes me cringe and is annoying to watch him.
Well,
I think
but
that's why I
for
came up with
me,
that
it's
scenario for how to
entertaining
get rid of him.
To see what he's going to do.
There's that, I suppose. But when you're that inept at the game, it's almost like Taylor who doesn't care if he wins.
I want to see him do well.
I would like to see him do better, but we're 5 episodes in. He doesn't really seem capable. We've never seen...
He did okay in that one water challenge, better than we thought he would.
Yeah.
Of course, he was with Chris, but still, he did better. He managed to get there and touch the pole, and so...
I can understand people who make the mistake, I guess, almost. I guess it's not quite like getting voted out with 2 immunity idols or something like that, with one in your pocket. But that whole play for Jessica and it was exactly what I thought he was going to do. He just seems to be that character right now.
But Cece said that they did have the alliance of 4. Her, David, Jessica, and Ken after that.
You and I disagree on what she said there. You're talking about in the interview.
Yeah.
I told you she was answering before tribal council there was what I thought.
No.
And you said it was after because I doubled back and asked a specific question about after.
Only logical
See, that's
answer
the thing.
to that,
It wasn't.
honey.
It wasn't though, because he's doing stuff
You
that
just
doesn't follow
will
logic.
not see it. So
That's it. It must be me.
I'm sure it is.
All right. So we want to thank everybody who took the time to send in their thoughts and predictions for us to enjoy this week. We'd also like to thank Deborah in California for a donation. Thank you very much for contributing to the operational costs of the show here.
Don't forget to get your picks in before the deadline on Wednesday, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific time. And we hope everybody's having a great weekend. The
Yeah.
weather's beautiful here.
Have a good one. Yep. It's supposed to be sunny, but mildly cool,
But
some
rain
fall weather.
coming, so you got to get up there on that
Get
roof.
back up on the roof. Yes, up to the roof I go.
Oy.
All right. Have a good one.